Hello YouTube, it's Atticus, and yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back with you with a new replay. This was a viewer request by, I think it's Hayut, is that how you say it? I believe that's who it was, who wanted to see a Hellabron game. So yeah, I thought I'd knock out two birds with one stone. We're going to do both a Hellabron game and show you guys a different build, a third different build for dealing with the Vampire Coast, since that seems a pretty challenging matchup for a few people, or a matchup that people actually enjoy watching. And this build is a pretty creative one, which is how I kind of like to do it. You can see right here, guys, I've brought in two altars. I brought in the Crone up on her altar, which is really good for dealing with infantry, a lot of like shaft units. And yeah, I also brought the Death Hag up on her altar, and these will come in handy for a few reasons. The first reason being that they have really high health pools, which means she'll be able to stay in combat for a really long time. I don't have to worry about getting sniped out or dying really soon. Two, it excels at dealing with infantry, so things like Depth Guard and zombies just get absolutely just destroyed by the Crone and the Death Hag up on her altar. And for three, it has really heavy mass, which will allow me to push through my opponent's front line to get into the back line here to maybe like shut down these deck droppers, or not deck droppers, these gunners and things like that. So yeah, the altars are always a really good pick, and in any of the vampire matchups, guys, take them with vampire counts, coast, and things like that, and yeah, you'll see. Obviously with Crone, I'm going to have access to the Gaze of Cain, which is going to allow me to get a really good melee attack and leadership buff to my army. Whenever you take a ground-based lord, of course, you always take the Blades of the Blood Queen, which have the Guardian trait, which will give a passive ward save to both my hero and my lord. And these guys are also my insurance policy that I can deal with Depth Guard. If these two crazy altars can't shoot through it, the Blades of the Blood Queen definitely will. There's a spear on each side, so yeah, this is my hammer right here. And this is going to be my nail, guys. This is going to be my secondary force, which consists of two Black Ark Corsairs with hand bows, led by an assassin. And what I want to do with this, guys, is have... For one, I want to open up my opponent's right flank. I'm trying to get my Cold One Dread Knights, as you can see that I brought right here, into the back. So I'm hoping that my two hand bows and the assassin will be able to do some damage that can't be. They can't really return the damage because they have skirmish, and will also lure these guys away, which will leave me an opening to get my can openers right here. As mentioned, the Cold One Dread Knights into the back, and these guys are just beast. They do rampage, but they do so much damage, guys. These guys will just eat Death Guard like it's nothing. They can shut down a ranged back line like it's nothing. They can get into Queen Bess, and yeah, they'll actually chew through any crabs. Say my opponent would have brought like Leviathans or Prometheans. These guys actually have the power to chew through them, even though it's not the Cold One Spear Riders, the anti-large. And here in the back, guys, I also have a Dark Rider for Peter Crossbow, and it's going to be taking care of the handgunners right here, and also Count Noctilus. So yeah, that's my force. You can see there's another Cold One Dread Knight over on this side as well. So yeah, multi-pronged attack. We got our mobile force, we got our main hammer right there, and we have our two cav that's going to be trying to get into a flanking maneuver. So it's just really powerful, and you'll see the success that it can have. As for my opponent, he did bring Count Noctilus, which will have, of course, 3 different summons that I have to deal about. 2 summons, 3 summons. I forget exactly how many he gets. He also has a Mongol Hunter, which is a really powerful anti-infantry tool. Luckily, I have altars and things that can deal with him. I actually have some spears as well. For his front line, he has a mixture of zombie pirates and Death Guard. So yeah, really powerful. You got a unit to absorb the charge and absorb the damage, and you got your real DPS guys in the back. 2 couple spears right here on each side, and this is where my repeater crossbows, or my hand bows, will hopefully be able to come in handy to lure these guys away, because these are his insurance policy to keep my Cold One Dread Knights from really doing a lot of damage. You can see that he also has a unit of deck gunners here, which will be really good at like trying to snipe my lord, and 2 handgunners up in the air, 2 deck dropper handguns, and these guys are very dangerous to my cav, so I have to really deal with them. So let's go ahead and start the game here, guys, and we're going to start moving up here. You can see that I'm going to start getting my cav around on each side. I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward it here so we get in position. Alright, so yeah, you can see here in the back that my repeater crossbows are coming to get into range, but they're going to be a little bit slow, which means that he's going to be able to start opening up with his deck droppers. And you can see, guys, just how much damage my Velociraptors are taking, so that's really unfortunate. Even with their shield chance, they're still just taking a lot of that armor-piercing damage, and there's nothing I can really do about it. Over here, you can see that we are opening up with my Hambos, which is doing a lot of damage into these slow-moving zombies, and there's nothing these guys could do. And you can see just 1 or 2 volleys has almost just broken and crumbled that one unit. You can see the front lines are going to collide, and I am going to cast the Gaze of Cain, which is going to cause, the leadership and the melee bonus to my army, and it's going to allow me to shoot through these guys pretty effectively. And you can see right here, the Queen, Crone and the Death Hag are just chewing through these infantry, especially with the Blades of the Blood Queen. You can see my opponent is going to get one of his bombardment spells off, which is going to do a little bit of damage to my Death Hag, but yeah, at this point, we're shredding through his front line so effectively. You can see over here that my Cold One Dread Knights have gotten into the sweet spot. And yeah, they're fighting halberds, polearms, guys, but they're still winning. That just shows you how powerful those guys are. My opponent, let's go ahead and slow it down here for a second so I don't miss anything. My opponent is going to cast a Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob on the back to get the rear penalty, which is a really good move. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I'm not really worried about these guys in the back just because they have Abyssal Armor Piercing. Over here, you can see that I do have my repeater crossbows have been shooting these guys, but yeah, it keeps moving them, which is making it really hard for me to screen those guys out. And you can see over here, the assassin and the two hambos. I mean, this is just a really good tactic, guys. These units really excel against zombies. And even Depth Guard will have a hard time chasing these guys. And you can see, for one, we're luring these two spear units away from my altars, and we're luring them away from my Cold One Dread Knights. And let's go ahead and just get it back into normal speed here. You can see, guys, with the front line here, the Crone and the spears and my Death Hag. It's just really hard for the zombies to have to deal with that much anti-infantry. Opponent is going to get a Earthblood, I think it was, I'm not sure what spell that was. It was Invocation of a Heck, which is going to heal some of his units. But yeah, we're just not that much threat. We have the superior infantry right now, and you can see on this left flank, guys, we've just chewed through his Depth Guard. Even though he's getting another summon, it only takes maybe like 1 minute for us to effectively just chew through what my opponent could throw at me. And you can see over here, the Cold One Dread Knights have dealt pretty much with the range and the polearms over there. You can see that these handgunners are being a nuisance for me, but I have detached one of my hambos, and I'm trying to screen those guys out. I'm trying to keep them from doing any more damage to my cav. Apologize for that little lag there, guys. So if we pull back here, you can see that the Death Hag is still at really good health. We've dealt with pretty much all these zombie units. We still have a full unit of Depth Guard, but yeah, with two altars, it's not going to be really hard for us to chew through that. Over here, you can see he has finally broken the Cold One Dread Knights because he had the overwatch of these two deck droppers, which is unfortunate. But yeah, the hambos are right on his tail. And over here, like last time we checked, guys, these Depth Guard were at full health. Just a couple attacks from the Death Hag is going to just destroy those guys. And you can see over here, the Crone is just hot on Count Noctis's tail. And if you watched my last replay, you know how much damage, how much armor piercing she has. Like how easy she was able to get through Lord Mazdamani. And over here, you guys, you can see, we're between the Crone and the Death Hag. Whatever he rises up, we just easily kill. And you can see these handgunners are posing a really big threat to my Lord here. You can see that she's down to half health now, which is really unfortunate. You can see over here these hambos are still coming in handy for me, even though I'm going to get another Gaze of Cain here, which is going to buff up my spear unit. And I do believe I have some Blades of the Blood King still alive right here. Yeah, over here you can see. He is going to get a 4th summon. I believe it is the 4th zombie summon. You can see back here I did get the Death Hag into his range right here. I needed to shut that down, and that's what I was talking about, guys. The mask comes in, really handy having those altars. Over here you can see that the Cold One Dread Knights and the Spears now have dealt with that whole right army, and now we're just going to all collapse them on the Count Noctis. And you can see right here, the Crone could just push through all his zombies, and each little charge here is just doing a lot of armor-piercing damage. Over here you can see we have lured away the Mongol Hunter. It was a little bit of a mistake on my opponent's part. He probably wanted to not go chasing a unit he can't really catch. And you can see I'm getting some really good overwatch of my hambos who are just shooting into those Depth Guard, and we have them down to like 9 units. Over here you can see that my assassin is in range now, and he is shooting Count Noctis with his 800 something damage. And he also has an ability called Assassin's Trophy, which will lower the melee attack and the defense to Count Noctis. And look how quick, guys, we're just shredding through his armor. Between the Cold One Dread Knights, the Crone, the Death Hag, and now we got some Spears. Yeah, Count Noctis is not long for this world. And there you go, guys. You can see that I have used Assassin's Trophy, which is just making it that much more easier for my opponent to, or for my enemies to, for my army to kill Count Noctis. And unfortunately, these guys right here, these two handgunners are shooting into the Crone, and they are going to break her leadership. And yeah, I mean, those things are just a really big threat. And I have my repeater crossbows chasing away the Mongol hunter. But yeah, we finally killed his lord, so now he just has a few zombie summons here. And if we look at the overall map, you can see that the Mongol hunter is trying to regroup with his army. But yeah, the repeater crossbows are just shooting him in the back, just doing a lot of damage. Over here you can see that he is about a quarter of his ammunition, so I really got to get rid of this infantry really quick to make sure he doesn't start focusing on my Death Hag. But I still have an assassin, and the assassin's shooting up in the air with his 800 damage, and each volley pretty much just kills a unit, so it's really good for me. You can see I've used all the ammunition on these guys, so I'm going to charge them in, and between these Black Ark Corsairs, the Death Hag, and the Spears, we've just crumbled all his zombies, which now leads in with just one little unit of Mongrel Hunters, and we're just going to fast forward it here. You can see that his air units are starting to crumble. We're going to regroup my men, and we're going to do a final charge onto the Mongol Hunter here. And yeah, we'll hit pause right before they collide. So yeah, the Death Hag and the Mongol Hunter do collide with the Black Ark Corsairs and the Blades of the Blood Queen to give that passive ward save. And you're going to see how quick this blueberry monster is going to die. And yeah, these guys right here are finally crumbling. I do have these repeater crossbows shooting at him, and that is going to be a win for the Druki, I do believe. He will be breaking right here, which, yeah, even though he's using some of his abilities, it's not going to be enough. So yeah, it's another victory for the Druki, and we'll go ahead and look at the in-screen breakdown and talk about some of the keys to my success. So yeah, guys, you can see right here, both altars worked really, really good for me. They just excel at killing zombies and depth guards, so taking that, guys, is a really strong combination. They have a really good synergy with each other, and my opponent didn't expect it, so it kind of gave me a really, a tanky, powerful front line. My little mobile force was able to pull away some of those spears to keep them from attacking my altar with the handbows and the assassin. And yeah, my Cold One Dreadknights, look at the killing numbers, guys. I mean, yeah, they really are can openers, and they're a really safe pick for this matchup, I do believe. And the Blades of the Blood Queen are always MVP. And yeah, so yeah, that was my build, guys. I hope that sates anybody who had the Hellabron itch. And I hope that kind of helps you with this matchup. That's the third video I've done with the Vampire Coast, showing 3 different builds. And for my opponent, this was a very standard Vampire Coast build, so I like showing videos like this, since this is what you'll see on ladder and things like that. So alright guys, it's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.